What's up, Fantasy Goats? It's DeandreSwiftSZN here. If you've watched the channel the past 2 weeks, watching JX, Shepard, and Rhino, the amazing trio, you would know that I'm a frequent chatter. I called last week Alec Pierce and Tyquan Thorne to be waiver wire pickups, and they both smashed. I was the only person actually to roster Tyquan Thorne. Genuinely, he was 0% start rate before I rostered him. Which the sleeper literally changed it to 1% right after I rostered him in multiple of my leagues. It's more of a risk it for fantasy football, I feel like. And, we saw that against the Eagles defense, who is very poor. Not because I'm a Cowboys fan or whatever, but they're actually very bad. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are not going to be as good as they are year one because there's no way you can continue that same production in 2 years straight. I mean, well, obviously there's obviously a slight chance, but I don't think that chance happening is very rare, and we're clearly seeing that with, CD Lamb almost dropping 30 fantasy points week 1 and Tyquan Thorne catching a 50-yard touchdown on Quinyon Mitchell week 2. So that being said, my quarterback of the week is Matthew Stafford, who faces the Eagles. I think it's the fact that obviously, they're on the road. That could be a negative, but that actually helps with the close game potential because obviously the Eagles, especially at home, they're always going to score. And we know that, I know how bad this Eagles defense is. And we know how good this Rams offense is. Despite them being on the road, they should still put up a lot of points. I did call Jared Goff to be a top 8 QB last week, but I feel like everybody knew that would happen. He finished number 1. I feel like the same scenario could occur for Matthew Stafford. I think he'll be a top 8 quarterback, and I'll be rostering him in a lot of my leagues. I'm sure he's available in like 90% of leagues already in the waiver wire, so pick him up if you have like a Joe Burrow, or maybe you want to like roster some other guys that the three between Shepard, JX, and Rhino mentioned. That's fine too. But I'm personally going with Matthew Stafford. This is the best deep ball quarterback in the league. He has been his whole entire career, and he has been this year as well. Devontae Adams, I think, is the best deep ball receiver this year. So don't be surprised if you see a 50-yard touchdown to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Maybe 2 to Devontae, 1 to Puka. Maybe 2 to Puka, 1 to Devontae. He has the potential to drop 20 fantasy points, 25 fantasy points, despite him not being a rushing QB. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And if you haven't seen my chats for the past week, you would know that. So if you have seen my chats, then you would know that my 2 waiver wire pickups are Alec Pierce, again, and Trey Tucker. Alec Pierce gets just a great plus matchup at home. I'm going back with him because last week he should have had a touchdown. That was a pass interference. Not really called, but it should have been pass interference. But had the defender not put his hands on him, there would have been a touchdown. And there was another scenario where he had a potential 50-yard look for a touchdown, but Daniel Jones looked towards Tyler Warren's way. That was depressing. But anyways, number 2, Trey Tucker. This is, quite frankly, this is very simple. Raiders on the road face Commanders, who allow a lot of single coverage, right? So single coverage means one-on-one scenarios. The receiver will almost always win the scenario if they're an elite route runner. And lo and behold, Trey Tucker is top 10 in separation this year. So I think he'll command those 8 targets, maybe more from last week. He had 8 targets. He should have done more with them. I feel like the same could happen here. Maybe both of these guys, Alec Pearson and Trey Tucker, could score touchdowns. That could also happen. They're both in great scenarios. So those 2 guys, Matthew Stafford, get on it. Oh, by the way, call me Nayomu. Nayoomu. That's my actual name. Instead of DeandreSwiftSZN if you had a question. But sounds good. Thank you.